So today, guys, I'm over at a friend of mine's shop because we need to put rear rotors on the back of the Super Duty already, and can't do this necessarily in a campground. So luckily we are in the Columbus, Ohio area where I've got good friends that's got big truck shops. So we can get in here and try to get this taken care of today. And I tell you, it's an expensive thing to take care of on the back of one of these trucks. Luckily, like I said, I've got a good friend of mine that's letting me utilize his shop today so we can get some things done. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go here and get onto this Super Duty and tear things apart. You have to pull the complete axle out and everything else just to get the rotors out. So you got a bunch of stuff. You lose a lot of rear end oil. You got bearings to deal with. You got rear end seals to deal with and all these kind of things like that to go ahead and replace these rotors. So it's something you all should be mindful of if you buy a truck like this. And double check those brakes, check those rotors, make sure they're in good condition. That way you don't end up with a huge shop bill. And my buddy here also will service RVs and stuff here at his shop, especially diesel RVs. They can accommodate and then do some work on those right there. And I believe he said that he can also accommodate, depending on what it is, he can accommodate some certain things on regular travel trailers. But anyway, we're gonna get to work on this truck. Guys, I know the light's not very good, but see, to actually change these rotors here, as you guys can see, here's your back, here's your rotor. You have to pull all this hub assembly apart. You have to take all these bolts out here. You have to pull all this, and this comes out in one piece. Then you have to actually break it down. There's a set of bolts on the inside back here to actually have the rotor mounted to this hub. So you have to remove all this stuff here, and you will lose a lot of axle grease, so you always want to make sure you check your pumpkin and top it back off and make sure you got good rear end oil back in there. So on the F350 Super Duties, to replace the rotor, you actually have to pull the whole axle and everything out to remove the old rotor. These are not good times when it's this hot outside. It's like 91 degrees. People are melting here. Air tools make all the difference. That's what it looks like when it's all back reassembled. It's where you can find old Quentin down here at May Diesel Service. You guys are in the Columbus, Ohio area and you need some repairs made, especially your diesel pushers, May can help you out. Give him a call. Alright guys, so the Super Duty's all back together now. Thank God for good friends. Let me utilize their shop and giving me a hand getting all that stuff together. Definitely made the job go a little bit faster because I snuck away from work to get this done. We were slow at work. Boss man said, go take care of your truck, come back this afternoon, work late. So he already had a plan in his head that he's gonna make me work late. But yeah, what I was saying about these kind of trucks like this, you know, when you got to replace the rear rotors on these, you got to take so much apart back there. You got to take the whole hub, pull the axle out, especially on a dually. It is a little bit more of an undertaking that you really probably don't want to try to do in a campground setting. They kind of frown on that kind of stuff, so you really don't want to disassemble your truck because it is quite a bit of a job. It is an undertaking to take all that apart and replace all that stuff. It's stuff that needs done, and you know, if you buy a used truck, try to make sure it's already done. That way you don't have to get right into that right out the gate. I mean, this is something that's routine maintenance. It's something that's going to have to be done. More than likely, if you have your truck for any amount of time, it's something that's going to need to be done at some time in the future. So just keep a little bit of money back, because if you take this to a shop to actually have it done, because I was being lazy and it's going to be hot and wasn't sure if my buddy Quentin could get me in, I was going to pay somebody else to do it. I was quoted almost $1,000 to take that apart and do that, and that's a little bit steep in my opinion. It's really steep for a guy who knows how to do things like that, like me. You know, I can pull this apart. I have a real problem with paying somebody $1,000 for something I can do for the price of parts and a few hours of my time. But like I said, be mindful of that when you buy these used trucks. Do a brake inspection on it before you make your purchase, and maybe throw that into the deal. If the truck's going to need rotors and brakes, go ahead and have that kind of stuff done. That way you don't have that big initial out the gate. Which, see, we've already done brakes on the back of this truck. But that leads me to another thing is I think we had a little bit of a brake failure when we were in the mountains with the fifth wheel. So that's another thing I got to tear into and find out what's going on back there. I don't know if I'm losing my uplink to my brakes, because those are electric and those work by a magnet. So when you said harder you step on the brake, it sends a signal back there, and the harder you step on the brake, it sends a stronger signal back. And what this magnet does is it actually presses out and catches the drum on your brakes on your trailer, and that's what initiates your brake drum, or your brake pads on your drum, to stick out and actually grab and stop you. So I think ours was kind of not working properly, but it was very hot outside, so that could have had something to do with it. It dissipated with all the extra weight coming down the mountain and some twisty, windy roads, and we were, you know, yeah, we were on the brakes a lot. That's basically the point of that. We were on the brakes a lot, and so we might have fried them back there. So that's something else that I have to get into, which hopefully I can get to it one day this week and kind of take a look and see what's happening with that. But stay tuned. Till next time, guys, thanks for watching. And if you definitely need something done, especially on your diesel pushers, go see my buddy Quentin over there. He can help you out. Got fair prices, and he's cheaper. He's definitely cheaper than like your big Freightliner and stuff like that. If you guys got the Freightliner chassis, and even Cat, Cummins and stuff like that, he's definitely a lot cheaper. He can service all those makes and models of engines. Go see him. I think he's 90 bucks an hour, something like that, versus 120 to 150 an hour. Always good to save a little bit of money. Till next time, guys, see you later.